please like and subscribe.
Okay,
Yes.
so Cris, once again, thank you for coming on. We really do appreciate you.
Thank
man.
you.
And you got a
Thank
lot
you.
of
Thank you
cool
for having
stuff in your background.
Yeah.
Background
Right.
there.
Yeah, you do.
Is that
That
all
art
stuff that you
back there.
have created?
Yes, some of them are. This is just my studio in my home. It's my attic. It's where I mostly do all the work. So it's a mix between my stuff, my daughter's stuff, and it's where I do most of the work.
Cool.
Since COVID, my actual studio is like closed, so I stay here. I'm lucky to have this spot at home where I can do some work. But painting, I wish I had more time to actually do some music or play or like paint, but it is what it is. Sometimes I just turn back, just grab the pencil and start doing it.
Yeah, maybe someday we'll have to commission you for a piece for our new studio. Because there are a
Absolutely.
lot of walls on this new studio, and we have no idea what we're going to hang on.
What we gotta do.
So Cris, you are the founder of Defi Elitism, right?
Yes.
And you are an artist. You were, or maybe
you
still
can say that.
you were, or maybe still are a DJ, right?
Yeah.
And you were a professional poker player.
Yeah.
What?
And maybe more importantly, that I just learned like 3 nights ago, you're pretty good at Fortnite. So
No, I'm not.
no, that's not true. I actually, Dragon and Chris and I were able to play Fortnite the other night, and it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. We actually even won, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
And it really didn't have anything to do with me, I promise you.
No, it's not true.
So, how does one guy
Have time?
have that much talent? Like,
Yeah.
does
No,
that
it's-
stuff come natural to you, or are you just working your tail off all the time?
It came natural, but it's not something that came up from out of the blue, right? It was not something that I decided I'm going to do and I did it. It's something that I'm doing since I'm a little kid. Starting from coding, from painting was something I always felt attracted to that more creative side of it, and also what turns me into math and coding, because I also think it's very creative, right?
Yep.
It's everything is there, but it's your creativity. How are you gonna do that logic about it? So it kind of was like natural to actually do it. I painted a lot. I had a tattoo studio when I was like 17, 18, something like this in my city. But then I became a father, and I had to change a little bit the way stuff was like going. Like art and all that stuff is really amazing, but it doesn't put money on the table. It doesn't bring this stable thing. So I started doing more stuff related to what I was accustomed to more doing with math, with coding, with design. All of those things were always there, right? Was something I was always doing, something I was creative about. I've learned how to do all of those software since the beginning, more in real life, but also on like design, and then I started playing poker really young, and actually started playing in like party poker and all of those things. And it all started that I couldn't even have an account, and like it's not like here, like you guys there, everybody has like have like a credit card, but I didn't have like a credit card, so I couldn't have money. So I started to playing on party poker, and I started playing 7-card stud. And the way that I was doing, I was playing with an Excel sheet next to me, so you can see a bunch of the cards. So I was looking, and a bunch of what I noticed at the time is that a bunch of people that was playing there was people that was playing in the casino. So like the knowledge about poker and all that strategy was not out there. Not a lot of people studied the game like so well, and not a lot of info was like available. You had books from like 100 years ago, the Poker Player, like, and it's an amazing book about strategy.
Yep.
But like it changes so much that it wasn't there. And just the possibility to have like an Excel sheet and just count my outs, and I was making a killing, right? Even with like starting with like play money, I ended up having like 30 or 40K in like real US dollar, but I couldn't like take it out because I had like a fake name, I didn't have an account.
Yeah.
So I treated it a little bit like it was like play money. So maybe that's why I was winning so much. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna lose this. No, it was like, okay, I'm gonna recharge like 2K or 3K like sit and goes, and it was like water, right? It didn't matter. It was like it didn't make any like sense. And then I was doing actually at the time I was working for the financial department of this big construction company. Like I came back after school to my home like city, and I started playing, and it went really well. And then I was playing online. I played in like full tilt poker and all of those things. Traveling a lot, and it was a lot of fun. But again, it was at the time, especially like online. A bunch of people were actually starting to study the game. I'm talking about maybe 2004, 5, 6,
Yep.
even like less. There was not a lot of stuff online. ICM charts and all of those things was like super new for a lot of people. And just because of that, and using math and using a lot of assist softwares like HUD, like all those visualizations, we're doing like 15 to 20 tables at the same time, but we're having that assist and just playing math, just playing all different game, and you would make a killing. But after a while, all that information become more accessible. You have more play.
Yep.
Like everything was online, and the game started to be harder and harder. And it was just a combination of, like, people don't realize, but poker, especially when you're playing for a living, is very like stressful, right?
Yeah,
It's
very taxing.
very taxing. Like, and if you're playing like 10 to 15 tables at like the same time, like, you don't notice. After a while, you don't notice, but your concentration level is always so high, and so your stress levels, you think you're not stressed, but
Yeah.
you are, because you're like just pressing the button, looking, looking, and between that and like traveling, that like the difference in time, not eating properly, and all of those things, and it just became like I like became sick, and I noticed that at the time that it was affecting my all like gameplay. So I wasn't being that effective, like, so I needed to like take a break. And then, like, the water on the pond was when the FBI it like full tilt and poker stars, and we all lost our money.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, we had some multiple accounts, some stuff we cannot say online, and stuff like this. And it was a mess for like everybody. So again, like it was like a reset. Like it completely destroyed like the flow. You couldn't play anymore, especially like online. You didn't have access to your funds. It was a mess. So we had to do and start doing other stuff, right? So life as it was. And I always, when I was a kid, I always had music and play with music. But even after that, I started doing other things, especially on the cryptography side of it, algorithms and all of those things. Was not related to crypto, but in a way it is. They are the basic fundamentals. But I was doing all of those things, and again I got sick, really sick. And you start thinking, and I was like just working out and doing all of those things, like I'm just gonna do something that's more like calm to me and that I love, and that I'll be happy. And then I started DJing again. Was going really well, and then COVID came again. And like the other one, this was like catalyst, not for many stuff, but for this specific activity, it was a completely kill, right? Because it was like 2.5 years without without doing any work, without having any kind of income. It was like a disaster. Not only for me or for other people was the same. But as a gift, and I think it was a gift because of that, I finally came into like crypto and NFTs and all of that. And being at home, I started painting again, doing a bunch of those things. And when going into it, everything was so familiar to me, right? And for the first time, when I look at it, I said, "Why? This is the first time I can actually do the three stuff that I love. Like I love coding, I love art, I love music, and I can actually do something that combined that you can do it together." And I started to learn how to write contracts, starting to learn everything about it, starting to paint again. And here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Chris, it's really, really funny. I mean, I knew that you'd played poker, but so I was big on the internet poker scene back in those days too, and got lucky enough that I actually cashed out my money 2 weeks before it all got shut down.
Really?
Because it was, I can't remember what the financial need was, but I was just like, there was a big purchase. I don't remember if it was a car or what it was, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take this out. I think I left like $1,000 in there or something that I could play with some sit and goes and getting into some tournaments and stuff. But yeah, I cashed that out. Actually had a talk with my wife, was going to quit my job and play poker full time, and 2 weeks later they shut it down.
Yeah.
They basically shut it down about 2 days before I was going to turn in my notice. So it actually was kind of weird, and that seems like a different life ago, but that was about the time frame. It was like 04, 05. Maybe they shut it down in 06. I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
08.
08, okay, yeah. So, but yeah, that was right in that time frame, and I got lucky and was able to get, I'd say 95% of my money out of it, but there was a lot of people, professional people that got stuck, and there were some ways to work around it a little bit, but like Chris said, we won't talk about that on the podcast. But yeah, I would imagine if you played that many, because I used to play with like 10 tables open on my monitors, and we probably have been in a couple poker games together. I would almost imagine.
For sure.
But
absolutely.
Awesome.
And then we had the same background too when it comes to DJing. Now, I think that you are a way better DJ than I ever was, but I spent 2 years DJing in clubs in Kansas City, and it was a blast. But like you said, life kind of evolves, and sometimes we don't understand why or what the reasons are or the timing of it. But now you find yourself as the founder of Defi Elitism. Can you tell us a little bit in your words about that project?
So Defi Elitism is basically the entry point for the actual fashion brand and everything that I'm doing, right? It's just the way that I can have a support for my community and for people that enjoy what I'm doing, and give me the tools to actually deliver what I want to do, especially on the fashion side, and having a way to try at my own way to solve some of the problems that I found, especially on the user interface, on the usability of all the stuff that we have. But I think usability part of it is still lacking a lot. And so it's my way of like trying to do that, and doing in a way that I'm using a product that I enjoy doing it, and using again something that is related to everybody. Like everybody does shopping online, but how can we do it in a way that is seamless, like we have the other one, but in this way, and use all of those things that we have now. And so Defi Elitism came up in that kind of philosophy about what is crypto. That's why Defi Elitism came up, because it's us defying as individuals, again, to bring back that equality where we all can do business, like, and have the same weapons, right? Just and we have equal opportunities to do what we want, and we can be successful for our work, for having a good product, and for all of those things, and not just for having money or being part of some kind of group that squash everybody. So it that kind of work brings that message like to it, where it's related to what we're trying to do without being attached or controlled by the elitist, where right now we have a chance of building whatever we want without needing the help from or association with those big companies, even in like simple stuff as like payment, right? Like payment and hopefully we will be on the front run of those things. I just want to do stuff and see what other people are doing, implement them on like mine. I'm not doing something that is unique. I just want to have my my point of view on it, and having the help of my community and everything that we're trying to do, and share as much as I can.
Yeah, and so you brought up there at the very end the community. So in the whole scheme of things, the community, you have like one of the, I don't know how to put it without hurting anybody else's feelings, but one of the best communities out there.
100%.
There is a ton of support, and from genuine people, right? It's like not people that are trying to be greedy or have an agenda. They genuinely care about the project. They genuinely care about you. They genuinely care about the art. We have got several DMs since just this morning announcing that you would be on the podcast of, hey, take care of my friend, I know you guys will be great, things like that, but nothing like, no negativity. It's all just about how much people love the project, how much they love you, how much they love the art and things like that. And it's very cool, man.
I think one of the good things about this is, one thing that we relate there is being honest, being truthful to what you're doing, and having them join this path with me, right? It's not that I'm seeing something. I see as an opportunity to have those people there, and we have this community. We had it before, but when I actually launched, one of the things I didn't want it to have was like Discord and all of those things, because the whole goal was we need to start building our own tools in our own page, so we can be like token gated, and we take care more of that security side of it. But hopefully they are educated for it. But and like, unfortunately, I don't have the time to actually do most of those things, and it's so hard to do everything you want and then still managing a community, being present out there. And I thought it was possible to do without that part of it, but maybe I was a little bit naive on that, knowing that I've worked in so many projects before, and I know what the focus I did for them, and I thought for mine I didn't need it, right? But it's just a mentality of people, of like projects, because they don't look at stuff. Most of people, they don't read nothing, they don't think that you can do whatever you want, you can try all the information there, but it seems like the more information you add, the worse it is. And and then the whole project is based on your OpenSea, on your mints, and what's your floor price, and it crumbles. It's like paper. It's like air. It's so fragile that strategy that's on the people mentality. It's wrong. It reminds me a little bit of that gambling mentality on like poker, right? You have that thing where they always chase that rush for the next big thing, for that big like flip, and most of the time they even try there, but then they don't sell because they will always want. There's a and I've been doing this for a while, even when I was trading and flipping NFTs. There's always like, the hype is very important when you look at something, because if you're trying to make money of it, you're being more analytic than actually looking at the project. You can see whatever you want, you analyze the art, and then it's important for you to have an exit point and a greedy exit point, where and most of people don't even, they suppress the greedy point, and it's always the same people like making money. And it was like it's a little bit annoying, especially for awesome projects out there. I'm not talking even like mine, and they try to grow like slowly and organically, and they already delivered so much, and still you don't see people like getting into it, but it will change. I believe we're all going to be here in like a few years, and they will be gone, and those people making the bad decisions now, they will regret not taking 5 extra minutes to actually read something and see how important is their support to that community, not only seeing it's like the money. For me, it's very important. It's not huge, but I have all that people there that if I need help or I need opinion and I need something, I have 100 brains over there where I can just call them and thinking, guys, I'm thinking about doing this. What's your guys' opinion? And I have all these resources over there that is so valuable. Why wouldn't other people see how valuable people are, even when they, and I have people there, and again, honestly, if I ask about something, they will be honest with me. It's not like saying like it's not FUD, it's not nothing. They're saying because they want the best for our thing, and it's their opinion, and we deal with that super well. I believe like so
I
far,
agree.
and that's why we see like what people are like getting there. And this is a long it's a long process, especially on the actual fashion brand. Something seasonal, something high end, that's going to take a while. But we're actually announcing something in a couple of weeks, and we're doing. I always try at best I can to give most value to it. It will be there, and we're building a very nice team, um, and we have a new person coming in on the marketing side. I'm looking at it if I can say it or not. I tried to call it. I'm going to say send it now. Yeah. So I'm going to put this on Neil, and I had Neil coming up because we had a lot of people like very very important people that are actually trying. They're not trying. They will help on the in real life part of it. It's not actually so much related to the NFT because we don't want that connection to be very very deep. We will use the NFT technology in all the fashion with the NFC chips, the wearables, all of those things. They are going to be there, but not as the Defi Elitism project by itself. And having Neil coming in, it helped a lot because it's taking care of this whole community, managing the spaces, having all those things. They are awesome, and we are like 6 people, and now I'm happy to say I'm gonna put this on Neil because he's telling me I can say it, and then she can yell at him later. So we actually have Whiskey coming in as the director for marketing and branding. She will be yeah, I love her too, and I'm like she's still on Misfits, everything she's there, but she will also be working with us on the marketing brand part of it, helping with that part in so
yes, Chris, you've got some great people there. We love to give Neil a hard time. We love to get, I mean, it's like my favorite thing in the whole world to give Neil a hard time. But that hurts a little bit. I don't know if I can say it out loud. Seriously, though, he is a great guy, and he is a perfect fit, I believe, in my opinion, a perfect fit for what you got going on there. And he cares so much about your project. I mean, you can just see it, you know, and just his tone and the way he lights up when he talks about it and how much he cares about it. And bringing Whiskey on, one of our favorite people. I mean, she was our introduction to the Misfits, and they've become like family to us. You know, we just, I mean, we have like Cat Exposure here and Misfits energy drinks, and you know, they're just like family. So, and I like the fact, Chris, too, that you said that you have all these other brains that you can use, because I feel like a lot of times in this space you get the founders, and that it's a kind of a holier than thou mentality, you know, where it's like, well, I'm the founder, I know what to do. But not only do you have that resource, you don't have a bunch of yes men. You have people that will give you honest feedback, and they will, and you know, and I'm sure that the buck stops with you, so you get to decide what you use, what you don't, whatever. But the fact that you use that resource, I think that is one of the resources that people overlook all the time. they don't lean on the people that will be honest with them. I mean, these guys are my brothers, but they'll be honest with me. If I step out of line, we joke around all the time, but there are certain times where things get a little bit serious, and it's like, hey, man, you need to change this or whatever. So I think that's awesome. And I wanted to touch on one thing you said, because I could not agree more with you. When you said the more information you put out there, like the less people educate themselves. And I've had this conversation with my daughter. Anybody roughly my age will totally get where I'm coming from. But I told her, I said, you guys are walking around with all this information in your hand.
Yeah.
But the generation is dumber for it because they don't use it. Like,
They don't use it.
I have a question now. I go right in and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But my daughter will just sit there and not know the answer to it. She won't use what's right in front of her face. So,
Wow.
well, but it's not just my daughter. Seriously,
Yeah.
it's just
I get you.
there is a whole. It's almost like they take the information for granted, and I feel like, and it sounds like maybe even in your project, but in the whole crypto space, the NFT space, people are not researching and looking into, and the information is right here.
Right.
I mean, I get DMs and questions and text messages and phone calls all the time of, I'll just say simple question or simple answers, because it's all right on the website. And it's like, why aren't we just opening this and taking the 5 minutes to read the white paper or whatever it may be? And I know some white papers are longer than others, and different things like that, but it's I guess refreshing in a way to hear it from somebody else that sees that too. But all in all, man, everything you just said right there makes me even more excited for everything you got going on than I already was. And we're big fans. And,
Me too. I appreciate it.
we spent some time together chatting, playing Fortnite. We spent time together playing poker. I always hate it when Chris is on my table. I'm like, Chris is on my table again. But we are super fans, I guess. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. But let me ask you another question. So you have the source code of freedom. How does that tie into the other project? Is it separate? Is it together?
No, it ties really well, because like the Defi Elitism is it will be always the main, right? And it come attached with all these wearables that you're going to claim. Next week we're going to claim the actual CryptoLex watch and all of those things. And
Sweet, can't wait.
Actually, and one of the things that we're doing, and some access, and I don't know if you guys ever been there, but I'm always on my Discord, and actually like source code to freedom, I actually did it all on my Discord live with the guys. I did the project, the coding, the contract. I asked them opinion. Bearded was the one who picked the green. We were like brainstorming. I was like, and they had the chance of seeing like that done there. They were making me company. They saying, oh, they think it's a value for them, but for me it's my value, right? Most of the time I'm here, something we work is like alone, and just having them like talking like shit or whatever, and like being like funny, it's just help us like just being focused and doing all those things. So it was more than a help to me, but they think it's more like to them, and I'm glad that it's like to them. So I wanted to have something like for them, and source code was something I have created a while ago, and I wanted to have something for them for like Christmas to have, and something that we can show was also as we can show as if we come together, we can make it work. And we saw on like source code, we made a plan, we launched it, we sold out, and we managed to do all those things with it. But because of the stuff that we're making on like Discord, like we're having the workshop tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So go into that a little bit.
So tomorrow we're gonna have the first model from the workshops. We're gonna be having a bunch of workshops through the year, and the first one is how to create an NFT collection, where I'm gonna try to teach everybody from developing the art, setting up the art, generating the metadata, uploading EPFS, creating the contract, launching the collection, minting them, all of that. And that's for the holders. So we're gonna be on Discord. And that's going to be like the first one, and I'm just going to share all the tools that I have, and some of those things like the contract I use, all of those things, and I want to share with everybody. So they also become a little bit better. And I think it's the easiest way to learn is like this. And if I can share that with them, because I learn as much with them as they learn with me, and it's just bringing that value. And source code came into that at a lower entry point, we can have people coming in that have access to those things, to the like trading resources that we have over there. We actually bought a consortium key a while ago between some of us, where it's a ton of like just amazing resources from a lot of very, very smart people. And we are able to pick some of those things, study for ourselves, and then we have like guys like Drill and Angel, and those guys like bringing back and sharing with the source code what they've learned, and some of those utilities. So now we have something that was much cheaper, that doesn't have so much stuff attached to it, so you don't have to lose a lot of time on it, and people have access to the Discord, to all of that, and it's a good way for us then for them to see what we're doing more than that, and hopefully we can have more people seeing what you're doing, and then taking that leap to the DeFi Elitism and joining the full circle of it.
That's very cool, man.
Yeah.
That's very cool, and it's like almost kind of a way to give back, and
Yeah,
that's priceless information. And I hope that we are done setting up the new studio by tomorrow so that we can attend that, because I would love to hear all that, but I don't know if we're going to be done by tomorrow or not, so we'll have to see. But
we're gonna record.
Okay,
We're
perfect.
gonna record the whole thing, and then you guys can like go there,
Perfect.
and yeah, you guys can actually see it.
That would be awesome. So I have one last question. How does someone purchase or mint your NFTs? Are there any still available? And if there are, how
Yeah.
can they do that?
So the source code to freedom, it's already sold out. You can buy some on the floor.
Okay.
There were a couple of people like selling them really, really cheap. Some of those people that it became trending, and then in like hours we actually sold out. And some of them bought a bunch of them, and they actually dumped there. So you can get them on OpenSea. But DeFi Elitism is still minting. It's a 1,000 piece collection. We are at 162 so far, so we still have a long way to go. But they can go to my Twitter or DeFi Elitism Twitter. That's my official links, the website, and you will find all the information. I think it's pretty self-explanatory over there.
I would agree with you.
And
I just wanted to make sure that you could throw that out there. We'll put a link on the video so people can get there. I actually hold both, and looking to maybe even add more to that, because I love the story. I love the interview. I love the background of it and the people behind it. And I think you got something pretty awesome there, Cris, just to be blunt
I
about
appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work, but it compensates. It's something that I love, and people there, and they give me strength as well, because it's so hard, like sometimes, to keep it going because of all this. It's a very harsh market. It's a very fast market, right? When it's normally you had a bunch of time to develop something, and now we are on something that is like daily. You need to deliver daily, and a lot, so you can so you don't die, right? So you don't lose that curve. You cannot if you take 2 days off, try to take 2 days off, you come back, looks like people don't even know you are anymore. That's what it sounds. But
Yeah.
but we're trying to, we don't want to be that aggressive on that way. We're trying to moderate everything we do, like we do with Neil as well. So it's healthy for us, healthy for other people, and also give time for like people come to us. I'm on a bunch of like NFT projects that I love, that are part of my community as well. Like, it's not my community is over there. Like we have the Misfits, the Sevens, and a bunch of them are there. I wish I had more time to go there and goof around with them, with Chaotic Exposure and those guys, but I don't. But the cool thing about it is that most of people, and like you, because I know you are on the Misfit and all of those, like we are on this. It looks like we are all like connected because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you're there or not.
Absolutely.
But we still all like together. It doesn't matter if you want to learn something about me. I'm sure the Misfit older will be able to like tell you, and then we're gonna split our time between those things. When something excited come, people come here, we go and play games with the Misfits.
Right.
You come have a workshop with me, you go listen to a podcast with the crypto bros, with Neil and Whiskey, with chaotic exposure. Like we can split our time, and this is the cool thing about having those things. Like we don't need to be like heads up on like something. Support your community, support some people that are doing something, and that's it, right?
Yeah, so you touched on that, and we've talked to Neil, we've talked to Whiskey. They've both been on this podcast, and people always talk about competition, and what you just said is exactly how we feel. We're not in competition with those guys.
No.
Those are brothers and sisters. We want to help them out where we can. We want to support one another. We found out about you through the Misfits. The very first time I'd ever heard about Cris Vond was playing poker and winning one of your NFTs. And I was like, what is this? So then I went in and I started looking at it and started following you and getting into it. And then, like I said, we've been able to talk, through Discord and things like that. And so it's an awesome deal. Anybody watching this that has no idea who Cris Vond is, look it up. Click on the link. Check out his Twitter. There's some YouTube things out there. There's all sorts of information. Look into it. I promise you that you will enjoy it. It will be worth your time. Mm-hmm. So
I hope so.
Does anybody else have a question for Cris before we move on to Holly's segment?
So I just have not a question, but I have to tell you, Cris, so your artwork just reminds me of a skateboard. I know that sounds really weird, but I can see your artwork on a skateboard, and then you have the name Cris Vond. So could you imagine, like, having like collaborating with like DC, and so it's like DC and with Cris Vond. It's, to me, you have the perfect name for this, and like it's just your artwork should be on like a skateboard. I just feel like it would be a really badass skateboard.
I actually had a few contacts for some collabs for like skateboards and for like snowboards as well. And it's just, but it's gonna happen at like some point. Something like that. Hopefully, I don't know. I really appreciate that if this brand's actually noticed, and it was actually one of the actual strategies that we're trying to apply. Maybe doing losing one of those things out, and like partnership with like a brand, so we get more exposure for the name, and then we have more value for the brand later on, because our name is associated with that. But definitely I see it on the skateboard. I love like skateboards. I love
ever since like I saw your artwork and just started learning more about you, I was like, man, that is his ticket right there, is collaborate with a skateboard or even snowboarding, because it just that's the first thing I think of when I see your artwork.
We maybe have on the back a bigger collaboration, not with skateboard, but with that fitness outfit. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh see, that would be cool too.
Where you have the actual Defi on those lycra pants, the sports pants. But it's something that we're looking into it, and but in the end, if it's beneficial, it's going to be beneficial for what we're trying to do as an high-end brand, and having that high-end part of it, and then a more accessible part of it. That's definitely something that we're open. I think somebody wanted someone like this Crocs. I think it's a bird or something like this.
Or Blair.
Blair.
Yeah.
You wanted some of them there.
Hey, if you made some Crocs, man, I'd be all over it. I'd buy them. I would. I'm Team Crocs.
Sorry, Chris. I'll pass. I'll buy them for a friend. I'll buy a pair, but
You can
I
just
won't
buy
wear
them and frame them and put them on your wall, Holly.
You know what? But didn't I see a puffer jacket? Was that you?
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
It was.
That white puffer jacket
Yeah, it
with
was.
oh my gosh.
There's
I would wear
There's a
that.
bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's another part that I hopefully will educate people in the way that the use of NFTs and the right to use certain image, and people can see that I don't want to use them as my main brand. I want to build my main brand as it is, but having to be able to use some cool art like as the NFTs in something that will relate it, and you can actually build a product for your brand where you can use like already connected to this community, and there's so much benefits, and hopefully the way that I'm using it, it will inspire and help other people see the way that I'm taking with it. Maybe they can take as well for their brand. Even if you with you guys, right? You have your the crypto boss cap, but maybe on like a side of it, and maybe on your tag, you can put down a misfit. Just giving this extra spice to it. It doesn't need to be the main. This is what people are missing on. You don't need to make it the focal point, but then you have this amazing art that you can use. You don't need to pay for it, and you put it on your tag, and it just gives this extra flavor to it. And this, it's so many possibilities.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But people focus, I want to have this NFT and I'll make my brand around this NFT. No, that's like a mistake. You can put them on front like I'm doing and using it. It's fine, but always keep your identity first. The NFT will not make your identity. It's just the use of art.
That.
Like
I like the way you say that.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, is there anything else that you want to talk about before we move on? Because I don't want you to come on and then we skipped over something that you wanted to give time to.
I'm sure. I hope I'm not forgetting something that I could say. Hope Neil. I'm trying to look if Neil's like, but he's not. But
Neil's lurking somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. He totally is. He said, Holly, if he doesn't show up on time, you let me know and I will call him. I'm like, it's all right, Neil.
Wow.
I always show up on time. I only had a miss thingy was that I fell asleep on Benji's space the other day, but that's because I was too actually tired and it was so late.
Yeah.
We tried to keep up with your guys' timeline, and this was actually perfect. It was 5:00 in the afternoon for me. It was perfect timing.
Good deal.
To actually do it.
Yeah,
So I don't think I have something.
Okay.
More.
Yeah, like Whiskey talks about that a lot too. Like one of the hardest things about what we do is time zones and time, not everybody being on the same time. So
Didn't Whiskey have a question?
Did she? Did I write it down?
I don't know.
Sorry, Whiskey.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Was that Whiskey's question? Yeah, so we'll just throw her under the bus. So Whiskey does have a question for you. And she wanted to know if, it says, do you eat pud?
Pud?
Okay, so Neil says pud.
Pud.
Like puddin'?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of this weird deal where Neil spells it out, and I always call it pud, and he says, no, it's pud. But I say, why can't you just say pudding? And
It's like a bread pudding.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Neil. I mean, you get it, right? I mean, it's Neil.
Like he's the only one that could make a. Do you guys know about his secret stash of cookies?
His
Yes,
biscuits.
his
Yeah.
He has a
biscuits.
secret stash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! He invite me to his podcast, and he tells me this this was how it started, right? He wanted to get a good vibe, and he told me this saddest story ever. How their parents used to bring like after eights and some cookies from like England, and they don't have it, and they didn't let him eat, right? When he was a kid during Christmas. So now he has this secret drawer where he buys like a full year stack of cookies, and it's like
Yes.
Rashes them out. Yeah.
Yeah, he rashes them out. It's
Oh my
funny.
god.